I'm now going to discuss my design center, which is unique to Brother, and it is one of the wonderful options on the Luminaire 1 and 2. So what is my design center? My design center is a condensed version of PE Design digitizing software, and it gives you the ability to stitch out a unique design or one that you have created. Prior to my design center, if you wanted to create your own embroidery designs, the following was required. You needed to have digitizing software, you need to have a scanner, a strong understanding of the software, and the ability to transfer the designs from the computer to the embroidery machine. So Brother has bundled all of that into my design center. So my design center allows you to scan in a design. You can put it on a USB, bring it in. And of course, in my other videos, I've showed you how to transfer it wirelessly to this machine. So my design center allows a designer to use 4 inputs to create embroidery design. And I'm going to talk about the 4 different inputs. So let's go ahead and go into my design center. So we have a blank canvas here. So the first type of input I'm going to talk about is direct. So I'm working within the confines of my canvas. So the first thing we can use are what I refer to are stamps. Now we have square stamps. We have what's called closed shapes. So they tend to have more of a rounded edge to them as opposed to a straight edge, although some of these have a round. These are open shapes, so they have a definite beginning and end. These are where our saved outlines will be going. And here's where we put our frame for embroidering. So let's just select the 8x12. So let's go back to our stamps, and we can select any of these stamps we want. Now this, I call this a submenu. So this is just the outline of it. This is just the contents of it. So you can see outline, contents. And this option is both. So I have the outline and the contents of the shape. Okay. So I refer to those as stamps. That is one way we can put a stamp. So if you wanted to create an embroidery design, now you can add into that. Okay. So the next type of input, I'm just going to get out of here and come back into my design center. The next type of input is the scanning frame, which is this. Now the scanning frame has 6 magnets to hold your paper down to scan in. That's one of the amazing things about the Luminaire, is that you can actually scan in images. And I'm going to show you a little later how to do that. Now, we could actually have fabric that's hooped, and we could scan that in and digitize that. And of course, the most frequent way of doing images is via the USB key. So now I'm going to talk about the types of drawing. So in order to use my design center, you need to have a basic understanding of images. So I'm going to show you my notes that I have developed. Types of drawings, very important. An image drawing are drawings that include an illustration that can be traced. So maybe you want to trace a flower that you've taken a picture of. So just keep in mind the original illustration will not be designed. And we're going to go through each one of these and I'll show you how they're different. Line drawings are drawings with a strong outline that have no fill, i.e. coloring books. Now I use line drawings a lot. I will search online for line drawings for flowers, butterflies. I use those as quilting designs. You can embroider. They're the easiest ones to work with. Illustration drawings are drawings that are colored and have a simple shape. So those are really important to remember, because when you go into my design center, it's going to ask you which type of drawing and which type of scanning we need to do. So do I want an image scanned? So keep in mind that images, you're only tracing the background. So when the scan is complete, the design will be transparent. A line scan is the one that's used most frequently. You want to have clearly defined edges. It should have a strong contrast. So if you want to digitize a photo, you need to have the background really light and the image should be dark. Illustration design is used to scan colored illustrations. They should be clear and simple in design. So one of the things that I find that my students always like to digitize are pictures. Photos. If you have a photo, it is much better to use the software to auto-digitize that. And we're going to be having those videos coming out in early 2021. My design center and these types of scanning are really good if, say, your kids or grandchildren have drawn a picture, you have coloring books, that type of stuff that you want to scan in. Okay, so keeping this, I'm going to keep this beside my machine, because as we select a type of input, we're going to use the appropriate type of scanning to go with it. So next, I'm going to discuss the screen that shows when you first go into my design center. Obviously, this is the magnifying glass, which can be quite handy when you're working in a smaller area and you need to maximize it to get the detail right. The hand will allow you to move the canvas when it's magnified, because you can maximize it, but you can't move anything until you hit that. This will be used for our scanning. And remember, there's the 3 types of scanning. This is our recall key. If we have saved something in memory, we can recall it. Now, this area here, there's a little gray bar around this submenu here. This is all about the line. This is called the brush tool. So this is where if I had an image here, I could put the entire contents of that image in one of these designs. I can use the brush, the eyedropper. I can erase, paint. Now these are grayed out, so any button that is grayed out means that the system is not ready to use it. Well, I don't have an image on there, so there's not much that I can do at this point. Obviously, size is important. Rotate, mirror image. This is select key. So this is when we're going to be adding objects, and I use that term frequently now. This could be an embroidery design. This could be an embroidery design. I refer to each one of those as an object. And this is our cut key and our paste. So obviously cancel, all clear. So we want to get rid of everything we've done. This is the undo key, which is very important. This is the redo. And this is a select key. So I could press this and then I could drag a box, it's called a bounding box, around the objects that are in that box. Obviously to save it to memory and to go to the next.